Welcome to the next episode in this series where I'm looking at archery scoring apps. In this episode we're looking at an app called Archery Tools. So let's have a look at it. Right, so this is Archery Tools, and when you launch the app, this is the first screen you come into. It kind of looks like a settings screen, but this app really is just all about individual tools. But it just happens to have score sheets and scoring within it. So I'll go through each one of these in turn, as there are quite some good handy little tools in here for you, even if you're interested in those more than just the score sheets, to be honest. So the arrow counter is quite good and quite simple and easy to use. If you're shooting arrows in ones or in sixes or in 12s, basically you can just add to your arrow count. So by clicking this button, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, and that will remember your arrow count. So I've just reset that, so just to prove that, because I'd started it already, so just to prove that once I came out of the app and came back in, it still recorded the arrow count, which was quite good. So just going up in sixes, and if you want to reset it, it's the X button at the top. Okay, brilliant. So that's the arrow counter. So next up is the Handicap Calculator. If you come in, it asks you to use the search magnifying glass to find a round. So I'm going to choose a Bray 1. There's quite a lot of different rounds in here, as you can see. WA is at the bottom. So I'm just going to choose a Bray here, and I'm going to input my score of 230. I'm going to make sure it's chosen my bow type, and then save will become illuminated, and then you can change the date that you shot it and then click save. Okay, so that has then added that round here. You can't click on into that again, but it's given me then the handicap value there, and then there's a graph graphing out my handicap over time. So that's quite handy if you want to add your scores into there to work out your handicap. So reversals timer is a fairly simple timer of 3 cycles or 6, and you can reset it, he says, or start. And it's got beeps on here as well, so I mean it's not something that you couldn't do in another app, or maybe with the kind of stopwatch on your built into your phone, but it's in here. Okay, so next up we have the shot timer. This allows you to set 2 minutes or 4 minute ends. So if I just set that to 2 minutes, and then you can press start, and you get your 2 beeps, your 10 seconds to go to the line and load your first arrow, and then you'll get a beep, and then you'll get your 2 minutes of shooting time, and it should give you your beeps at the ends of the 2 minutes. So that's that one. Just press reset there to reset it. And then finally, sight marks. There's none in here at the minute, but you can choose meters or yards. So if I go to yards and add my distance of 30, and then go to my extension of 0 and my elevation of 1.25, and I save it, and then we've got our sight marks. We can add more. We can add metric ones. If we go back in there, what? I can't edit them. So if I add another one, let's just try this, extension 1.2, 1.5. Will it overwrite it? No, it's added it in for some reason. So that's a bit strange that you can't actually go back and edit your sight marks. Okay, that's probably something they need to look at, because they do change if you change your arrows or change a string or something like that. So that's all of the tools in here. So some of these are quite good. The arrow counters might quite useful, and the shot timer as well. So, but this is really what we're looking at today, is the score sheets. So let's go into score sheets. Here's one I entered earlier, but I'm going to add another one. So as I said before, there's all the same list of rounds in here as there was for the handicap page. So let's choose something really simple, like a 252 round. So what I'd do is here I'd put my name in, I'd choose the date, either today's date or in the past, not in the future, because that would just be wrong. You'd choose your bow type. Then we've got bare bow, compound, recurve and longbow. And then what we've got here is where it's going to show you the results. Now you don't actually sort of enter here, you enter them down the bottom. But what you can do is, and you'll see it mirrors along the bottom as well, when I click along, I can change the results for that end if I need to. And obviously I've got the totals, hits, 9s, 7s, my average as well. So let's just put some numbers in. Nicely color coded at the bottom here, but not color coded in the actual table of results, which is a bit of a shame. This is 6 ends, so done the 6 ends, and it says done. It's recorded my score, my hits, as I say, the average arrow count, and then I'm going to click done, and it just goes back to the other screen. So it's really simple. It will record your scores for you. There's nothing you can do afterwards with them by the looks of it. You can't share them, you can't send them to anybody, you can't export them. So if I just click on this one again, then I can go back in. I can't change anything by the looks of it, so we're fixed on that. But and it hasn't kept my name in there for some reason. No, it hasn't stored my name. Bit of a weird one. Let's go back in again. So yeah, so there's nothing you can really do with it, but what you can do is you could obviously screenshot this through the phone, and it will save it as a JPEG, I gather, on most phones, and then you could submit that image to your records officer or to whoever. So that would be one way of getting the data out. So that's score sheets. So on here there is an information section, but it doesn't say anything about, there's no help on it or anything like that. So the downside of this again is that there's no way to export your data. So if you're recording your score sheets, you can't import them and export them. Obviously the data's somewhere on the phone, but we just don't know where. It's not obvious. But it is a useful little app, especially if you want arrow counters and timers and things like that. Then it might be worth sort of installing it. And then the score sheets is really just there, which is sort of quick and dirty thing where you can come in and you can record your scores if you kind of need to, although you can't really kind of get them out. So that was Archery Tools. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you got something out of that, and we'll do another app review very soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps me out. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you soon.